The middle girl.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Middle Ground with Emma Bagaluz Kanon, Wendy Akomalafekalu, and April May. We've got Young L here and TMXO. Woo!
Five Alive Crew is bad.
In the building, bitches!
What's going on, guys? I feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. We've been on tour and stuff, the album just dropped, so, trying to do Paris through London at the same time.
So is this Young Girl, Mr. Mali here?
This is Young Girl here, Miss Miley's on tour.
Oh,
always
okay,
on
right.
tour,
Alright.
Yeah,
Mr. Mali is busy.
Yeah, always busy.
So what's going on?
You didn't feel us because you ducked.
You mans were ducking,
You were
fam.
ducking. You ran. Quack, quack, quack. But yeah, we're glad you're back. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
fun.
How dare you?
I
Violating.
apologize.
What's going on, Em? How's your life?
Just still searching for balance. Siaga.
Whatever the fuck that is.
Balance.
Okay.
Siaga.
How are you doing?
So
I'm fantastic. I'm
offended.
good.
Wendy, what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, totally. I totally get
Exactly.
you. Amazing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we've wanted you to come on this show for a long time, but
Right.
it's better late than
Yeah,
never.
I feel you.
Oh,
Try.
Don't shake me.
Try.
Yeah, bro. It would have been cool if you just dropped it and acted like you didn't do nothing, but you were doing too much. So you fucked it up.
Hey, this is not taking away my glory, I beg. Don't mess with my glory right now. But how's the album going,
The album's great, man. I'm excited. It's my first album, so I'm excited, and the response has been great. People love the songs, and just makes me go back to the studio and work on the next album, man.
Nice.
It's really, really
Wow.
good though. Like the album is a really, really good album.
Thank you.
Like I know I told you this,
Yeah.
but every time I listen, I'm like, it actually is a really dope album. I
Thank
really
you.
love it.
I really appreciate, man. I really do.
I was there to listening and I watched that documentary and it totally sold it for me. I loved it. Who shot that, by the way?
It's the whole team, CBN, I'm in the family. Shout out to Blinks. Shout out to Remy, they came through and, it's crazy.
It's
The
awesome.
whole family, though.
Yeah, that's mad. I love it. What's your favorite song on the album?
Wow.
My favorite song on the album is Superman.
You're asking him to pick his favorite child, and you just picked your favorite child.
I did. But we always have that. We always know our parents have, like, their favorite kids.
Yeah.
I know I'm not the
Right.
favorite one.
Yeah,
but
we
it's
all know.
fine.
I know I'm not the favorite. I know my favorite. My other brother's the favorite, so,
Wow, guys.
it's fine.
Who's the favorite here in the family?
Which of the families? Is
Like, I mean, in your family, like, are you the favorite? Is the question.
Oh no.
Are you the favorite in your family?
No, no.
I know I damn near left home one time because I thought I figured out the whole shit out of my head. Like I was adopted. Have I told you the story?
You have.
I figured this thing out in my head and
But let me tell you something.
what?
He's really adopted?
If you meet his family, another family, you know he's not adopted. But
He's going somewhere. Let him go. Let him.
I think that it'd be hard for you to be the favorite child, even if you're a single child.
Wow.
That's where you're going.
Wow.
It's less about your parents and more about you.
Wow.
And I know you, so I know what I'm saying. Because there's a lack of balance.
What do you call it?
I thought you were something about coming late.
Yeah, I thought
No,
it
you
was
just
going
go
to
link it, but no problem. 1-0.
You're messing up my alley hoop.
Alright, anyways, since none of us is a favorite child.
That's
I said I'm
quite.
the
That's
favorite.
quite
No,
unfortunate.
he said it's the favorite.
Oh, yeah, the favorite.
Are you an only child?
You just...
Are you really?
You're the only child?
Makes sense.
Hello, did you see a ghost? I know what
Wait,
yesterday.
are you actually an only child?
That's the podcast done.
Wait, for real?
For real?
This makes perfect sense.
Don't do that.
Actually, surprising to me.
I
surprising to me.
Because
now
he's very, TMX is very political. So you learn politics from negotiating with your siblings.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Negotiating with terrorists
people,
that are
I
your
think.
siblings.
What?
I think we would have negotiated with other people.
Yeah. But you're very political. That's
I don't
surprising
think
to me.
so.
I'm
Fam,
actually
you're the
surprised.
only child. Oh,
don't
that's
actually surprised.
crazy, man. I'm surprised, man.
No, some things I know about you, it makes perfect sense now. Yes, I get it. Now,
You're trying to make man look like a dickhead.
So like some deep internal knowledge, have you?
Wow, we don't need all that right now. Let's go.
Well,
Victor.
okay. Young girl.
wow, where are we
yeah,
going with this?
We don't need all that. No.
Nah.
Wow, young girl, back to you. So I heard
Yes.
you studied medicine back in school.
For a minute, man. For a minute.
How was that? What happened?
How long is a minute as well?
About almost 4 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just decide, nah, you know what? I'm gonna cut this.
As funny as it sounds, that's how I actually decided. I was in class
Really?
one day and the lecturer was teaching and I was out. My mind wasn't there, man. And when I just came back, I just sent my mom a text. Because before then, like I was telling her, man, I don't want to do this medicine. She was like, just do it. You know, it will be done very fast and you'll be a doctor. You know, it was good. Da, da, da. So I was in class that day and I was just like, fam.
Fuck this.
I just sent her a text. I was like, Mom, see, man, I can't do this anymore. And I was just in class. And I just got the text back. She was just like, I understand. I was just like, gone. And like that was the end. I just packed my bag, just went home, and from there, studio, and never looked back.
Chopsticks, increase the mic.
Straight up, let's go. We out. We're like, you know what I mean? From there, and my mom, all she just told me was like, you have to finish school. And then when I left there, I moved to Lagos. So I was in Lagos for like a year before I even went back to school and started 100 level again. And that's because she was like, you have to just finish school. Like, you can't be the only child I have that didn't go to uni.
So what did you end up studying after?
I started accounting and I just finished actually.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because you're doing NYC.
Yeah,
aren't
my
you?
so I just
smart.
so I had to start again from 100 level. And yeah.
Hey,
Question. In your documentary, it says that your mom raised you alone.
Yeah.
I actually never knew this.
Really?
Wow. And so all the kids?
Yeah, she raised 5 of us, man.
wow.
Superwoman.
Yeah. My dad left when I was in like primary school, like primary 3 or something.
Left.
Yeah. Like
How did that affect you?
What do you mean
Wow.
left?
Like, is this podcast is
Like
different?
Dr. Phil, like, hey, chill on that, fam.
She was ready.
left was like him and my mom were always fighting. Like that's all I can remember. They were always fighting. They had to like do a separation. So like took us to the court and like tell
For
you.
real?
Yeah, and you have to choose like who are you going with? Are you going with the mom? Going
How
with
old
dad?
are you?
I was in like primary school, so they already told me like when you go there, just so you're going with your mother. Yeah, your father is not a good person, so just follow your mother. When you go there, just stay with your mother. We just went there.
Wow.
So who do you want to go with? My mother.
Me.
My dad just looked at me like, you fucking
So have you?
like you snitch. So like from there, we started leaving my mom and I think I've seen my dad. After that, I've seen my dad like twice. It's actually crazy because that guy is weird. Because I saw him 2 years ago and he didn't recognize me. Yeah, that is crazy. I tell you, and I tell the story. I laugh, but it's actually not a funny thing. Like I went for my brother's wedding. So I saw him. When I saw him, I just went to greet him and he just greeted me. He was like, how are you? So my mom was like, have you seen your father? I was like, yeah, I saw him, but he didn't recognize me. She was like, eh? So she like took me and be like, do you know who this guy is? He looked at me and was like, I don't, who is he? She was like, this is your last son. He was like, He wasn't even moved too much. He was still doing G. I was like,
Say he was still doing G.
Good job.
this kind of how he was like, how are you?
Okay,
Congrats on growing up.
And he just
and
continued gisting with his guys. He just like continued gisting with his guys. He's a crazy guy, trust me, he is. But yeah.
That's deep. Oh.
Yeah, man.
That's some deep stuff.
It is.
Men has come. Okay, sorry.
You guys should stop this now. I don't like it. And social media has been pushing this thing. It's not about us. There are children coming. Yo, if you guys keep confessing that men are scum.
Confessing, so it's true.
You guys say it all the time. I don't think men are
are
scum. Some men are, and some women are too. Like, you know what I mean? But doesn't mean that we should, because we're going to jokingly push this narrative and it will be the
man, to become
standard.
law,
yeah, it will be law. Like, men, don't even bother trying. You guys are scum. You know, I don't think
Because there's
it's very-
terrible men and there's terrible women.
Yeah, of course,
everywhere.
everywhere.
So, hey.
You know what I mean? We shouldn't push it too much.
Should I explain?
Yes,
the men are
explain,
scum?
please. They need to
It
know.
doesn't mean all
Let's-
men are scum. It means like the general narrative is men are generally allowed to like behave like trash and there are no repercussions. Do you understand? And with women are scum too, obvious. This is a statement of fact. So men are scum doesn't mean every single man is scum. It's just like
So what I'm just saying,
But that's what the
Why not
statement
just say humans
says.
are
That's
scum?
what the statement says. Men are scum.
you
That's
guys
what
are
the statement
you
says.
guys are all lives mattering this
I swear.
No.
this thing, and I don't know.
When I say
when they say Black Lives Matter, it means every Black life. We mean like every Black life matters, fam. Every
You
Black
are
life.
actually
So when you
all-
say men are scum, you should like say some men are scum.
Like you just gave the statement nuance, and I've been seeing it on
People
social
are
media for a
scum, it's
minute.
not even
But it's the first time
Right.
that somebody actually
explains.
explained it to
Scum
me.
is not even gender specific, to be honest.
No, it's not. It's not gender specific.
Yeah, like people are scum,
People
like
in
there's
general
terrible
are
people.
scum.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it was also like it came out as a result of banter. And
Yeah,
then-
exactly. But it's now
yeah.
becoming like quite
From club.
deep.
Like also that Yoruba demon thing as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
All right, on to the next one. So we see you doing collaborations with Jameson.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
James have been family like since, man. They always come through, when we need them, and yeah, they came through for the launch. Shout out to James and shout out to Mitsubishi, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. It was great. It was a beautiful launch. It's what I envisioned, and it came to life. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a mad thing. Do you have anything to say? You have questions? I know you
Yo.
always do.
Don't worry, younger than we'll get into it later. You know what I mean? He always talks about how he was treated badly by his friends when he came to Lagos. And we're friends, So we'll like to hear some stories as to,
Nah, man, nah.
We
know.
would.
You want to hear what? What do you want to hear? I'm here to tell you
how,
all,
how
man.
did you get to that?
Please, I want to ask this question.
Ask whatever. I'm ready.
Actually, like I've never done this before, but like there are so many people, especially in like the music industry, that's like, oh, I left my parents, I left my family, and I moved to Lagos with like I had 100 naira on me, I had 50 naira on me, I had no direction.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that? I don't understand. Like, what was when you said I'm coming to Lagos,
First of all,
what was in your mind?
when they tell you, they always tell you to come to Lagos. One of the people that were messaging when I was in my med school was Ice Cream. So sending me text messages and pictures and how he just left Banky's house and now he's with this person now. So I'm just like, fam, God, I can't even concentrate in this, my phone. But Ice Cream's not even allowing me rest. Especially when they were shooting safe, he was just like, yo, young, you guys stay here. You guys there, yo, I just see this person now. Yo, I see. I'm just like, I actually did class. Like, like, bro, go out. I need to talk to you. Come outside. You know what I mean? So when
You know
when
what's
they make
crazy?
it,
Sorry to cut you short. You know what's so crazy is that when I won the Headies Award,
yeah,
it was just Aldo and I that were there, and I think the first person I called was Ice Prince. And as soon as I spoke to Ice Prince, I remember that everybody started calling me.
Yeah.
Because Ice always had to connect to everyone
everybody,
else.
yeah.
So I remember everybody was calling me, was like, J-Town, like they just say we can move to America or something that day. You know what I mean? But anyway.
yeah,
sorry,
it's
go
crazy.
ahead.
That was the first Headies, yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was in Lagos at that time. I was with you like a day before the Headies.
Yeah. Crazy.
You know, I was with you the day after the Headies. It was mad. But yeah, you know what I mean? So when you move to Lagos, first of all, they always before you move, they tell you like, you need to come, you're talented, you need to come. But they don't break it down to you.
The Lagos they paint to you is not the Lagos you come and see.
First of all, the number one problem with Lagos is accommodation.
Wait, how much did you have on you when you came to Lagos?
Tops, maybe like $5,000. Tops.
Yeah, you try now.
Wait, let me just direct this question to How much did you have on you when you came to Lagos?
I kept coming and going. The first time I came, look, I have stories about every time I came to Lagos because I was the first person pioneer and I didn't know anyone. At least I think with everybody else. You also came around the time I first came.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You came, but
came left.
yeah, you came and went back. But I think I came to settle, and everybody else could not then use me sort of as a
Yeah, you had to take
you know, like lightning rod. Like, oh, we can go around where M is. But man, sometimes, man, I'll be in Lagos and I won't have 15 naira. Like, I won't have 15 naira. And you have to know your shop, the shop guy close to
normal
you.
level. Mama Mary, shout out to
Your
Mama
malam,
Mary.
your malam has to be your guy.
He has to be your guy.
When I touched down Lagos, Jibo, I remember vividly the spot as I got down from the night bus. It was morning, it was like 7 a.m. I took a taxi from Jibo to Anthony Village. This guy charged me 3,500. Right? Then he gave me like a
Jibo to
merry-go-round.
Anthony.
Then he gave me like a merry-go-round.
It's all.
I'll never forget because now when I got to know Lagos and I was like, man, this was like a 700 naira trip max.
Bro,
This
at
guy
that
gave
time,
me merry-go-round.
what year was that?
03. 03 December.
It was
Bro,
cheaper
that's
than
like that's
700
triple like
naira.
300 now.
It was cheaper than 700.
And the guy, he made me understand he was doing me a favor.
That's what
Just
they
the
always
Yeah, that's how they
do.
do.
And
Yeah.
he gave me, I entered and told me I was just giving them like.
That guy didn't work for 2 days.
After you, just like we're
I
done for
just
Christmas. Christmas is
this
sorted.
thing now 5,000.
Like
Just the help you. This thing na 5,000. Anyways, welcome to Lagos.
So how
Welcome
much
to
did you
Lagos.
have on you when you came?
I knew I could afford the taxi and then some. So let's say give or take
Thank you.
under 10K somewhere
big boy.
around there.
Oh wow, young girl, please carry on.
Yeah, it's like 5 grand I came to town, and when I came, initially the plan was to stay with M. Then I stay with M. India stays with.
M did not pick up.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I stay with,
yeah.
I stay with M. And India stays with Ice. So when I went to meet M, I was like, fam, this is the plan. He was like,
There's no space.
no, he didn't see. M is political, so he was like, it's a great idea. I think it can work. But the problem now is, like I'm too busy, and Ice is at the right place where because he knows Ice is just getting in there now. So it's the best. It was a great advice because he was right that Ice is just.
I was correct. I mean,
Yeah, he was correct. The Ice is just getting his foot. So Ice introduced me, but I knew that's not the reason why he didn't want me to. He wanted me to go to Ice's place, but it was cool, you know what I mean? So, and M was on some vibe then. It was on some vibe. It was on some rap vibe. So he was not even thinking. First of all, you really even see Greek boys as talented people like that. So he wasn't really interested in hanging with Greek boys like that. It's not like he didn't like us as guys, human beings. We were his guys. He's my nigga. Everyone's my guy from way back. It's very I met before I met Ice and the rest. But because Greek boys were coming, the Greek boys he knew, or he didn't even know Greek boys, but the young L he knew was coming, and young L was coming with a different genre of music. When M left me, I was a rapper in Jos. So when I was a rapper.
facts.
Like the first Blaze, M.I.'s Blaze, I was like the fourth guy.
Fourth verse, yeah.
Fourth verse, and it was rap.
Oh, now I understand why this guy thinks I don't mess.
You know they fuck with us since forget that one. Moving on, don't worry. So first of all, Emma removed me from Blaze. First of all, he removed me from Blaze.
This is a therapy
I had
session.
the best verse. I had the best verse on Blaze. He knows the best
With
verse on Blaze. Yeah. What even vexed me that he removed me and put Blaze. We had the wackest verse on the song.
Who's person?
The rapper, female rapper
Blaze.
called Blaze. She was so whack. I was like, what did you do that for? And I don't understand. Maybe because her name is Blaze, he was not okay featuring Blaze. I was like, okay.
Man's just don't fuck with you, fam.
But I was like,
always.
if it was a dope verse, I would have been, it would have been understandable. But it was a horrible. Even him, he knows. It was the most horrible verse on his album.
you
It
have
was
said
horrible.
nothing.
Let's TMXO.
What if you know come out from that song?
Yeah,
Maybe you no good there now.
exactly. That's why he thinks that's what I'm vexed. That's not what I'm vexed. Because if he put me then, it would have been too fast for me. Because then I didn't even know what the industry was about. I didn't even started doing
So you did
dance.
this verse into everybody.
But it's no props to him.
Wow.
No, it's not props to him.
No props to him, man.
You can't tell me nothing on Lego Music 1.
But the verse, the cadence was wrong.
But that's
Now
not what
I
you told
can,
me.
I can say,
You did it to me.
You
so
can say
then,
freely, okay.
I can say so then.
Wait,
you did it to me,
wait.
you
So
did it to me,
basically, you
so-
did it to every
Yes,
musician
the-
on here.
The last one.
No, you gave me a beat and I didn't record on the beat. That's different.
But you
Completely
said,
different.
you said,
Wow,
oh
this
my god.
nigga's such an ass.
Wow.
Oh my god. And
Can I defend myself?
this is great.
Can I defend myself?
Please go on, please,
Can I defend
defend,
myself?
please.
So the idea of Blaze, first of all, is that we think like we're talking about weed, and we're not. That's the idea of the song. Because at the time I was really on my like righteous high horse,
Yeah, that's why I say rapping level.
and the young L's first lines were, "Ogasha, you dey feel me, feel me, feel me, feel me, feel me, feel me. Oh yeah, pass me that wee. You understand?" And I felt like with everybody that been rapping in this same,
He was exposing the double entendre of the song.
Yeah.
it didn't expose it. It just negated it. He was rapping directly about being high and smoking weed. First of all,
Yeah.
the second thing was also that I felt at the time that Jesse, Ice, and I were more like doing like more lyrical raps. Now, what Younger was doing was ahead of his time. Today, I can see that now, right? Which is like maybe a hybrid of what like Ajabota, Files, those guys do, where it's like mixture of pidgin and all this sort of stuff. But in my mind, in the music of the song, it didn't fit into the song. You understand? And then Here Comes Blaze, who was like the dopest female rapper. At the time, within the rap circles, MI and Blaze being on the song together
What's the thing?
was going to be
I really need to Google this.
Here we
person.
go again. Yes, Scariest.
yeah.
Oh, you don't know Blaze?
No.
I don't know. Babe.
So, and I've done this so many times on my albums because I'm sure you did it to your album. I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. That's why. Of
Yeah.
course, you can't even get mad
Yeah,
when an
I'm
artist
sure
does
now,
it,
especially when you're doing your album,
Yeah.
you sit back and you look at things and you're like, this is really dope,
But
but
But this is not for this.
it just doesn't fit,
Yeah.
you know, in the story you're trying to tell, you know. But the rest of the narrative that you're selling is wrong. I actually
Which
talked
one?
to the group boys really
Here
hard.
we go
no.
again. Yes,
You didn't.
Scariest.
Well, M didn't. M had issues with Grey Boy. I think he had issues with Jay Miller as an artist. But even Grey Boys, he didn't even know Grey Boy's sound. Because MI didn't know Andy as an artist. We never knew Emily as an artist until Andy moved to
No,
Lagos.
I knew MD even more than you.
As an artist?
Because I heard him sing in Just.
Really?
Yeah, but it's like meeting, let's say Remy now says he wants to start singing, right? He's not going to erase the history Remy and I have as friends. So he's going to need to do a lot of work to be seen as an artist in my eyes.
Yeah.
But the issue was, this is what I believe. Guys, we're doing like,
Everything before but.
yes, no, but the issue was, this was the real issue. At the time, again, I was very much about A&Ring and making people better. And the reason why was that when I met people like Ice Prince and stuff, I felt that their rap skills were very raw. And I really took like a hands-on approach with being like Luce has been in the studio with me. I can go to levels where I can break syllables and tell you, say this way. Say it like, I can be very hands-on in the studio. And I was very hands-on. So when Grip Boys came and Grip Boys said, oh, we want to work on stuff, my first reaction to them was very tough.
Yeah.
Oh, write this again, do that again, blah, blah, blah. Now, Ice and Jesse had been through this whole thing with me, you know, whatever benefit there was, if there was any, they got from it, you know. But you have to understand, I felt I was right.
Yeah.
I felt I'm changing, you know, people are making. So when I started with Group Boys, I think they didn't have the context to it. And also there wasn't the payoff later. So they just saw this guy that came to the studio, told them, do this. They did it like 10 times. The song never got on the project. Do you know what I'm saying? But it never ended. And Ice and I actually had an argument about it. Because Ice once told me, he said, why don't you fuck with the Good Boys? And I told him, I said that if I'm to be in charge of music overall, that means people still have to come back to me. You understand? And that you know how I am with music. So do you trust me to do the right thing by Crip Boys? At the end of the day, what you come to find is that every artist's journey is unique to themselves. And so you can sort of be like a signpost in Lagos, where it can help, but really we know they use signposts to get direction. You understand? People just sort of figure out where you're going to by themselves. So, but I always talk to the Group Boys. You know,
This has
always
been
did.
extremely enlightening.
Are you going to let him get away with cutting you out?
We
of
all,
this song?
I think all of us, we all
Is
know.
that what we're gonna
we all-
do right
if
now?
we all know M, we know now.
We
You know
know.
that M, you know, yeah.
We know.
Yeah, so there's no need.
What has history shown?
There's no
Has
need.
history shown that I'm saying the truth? I'm wrong.
No, you didn't. See, it's not even an argument. MI didn't fuck with Grip Boys. It's not.
That's fine. That's
no,
why
MI didn't
we're
fuck
leaving
with
it
Grip
at
Boys.
that.
It was not even.
They didn't
MI
fuck with
only
the Grip
started
Boys.
fucking with Grip Boys when Ice Prince started working with the Grip Boys, and he started seeing fruit from what I working with the Grip Boys can do. Because MI didn't even fuck with dancehall music in the first place.
Yeah, I did.
And that's what Grip Boys were doing.
I definitely told
You understand?
young girl that this dance on vibe is not gonna.
Yeah,
It's not really the vibe.
and
So
that hurt India
So you're the
particularly.
villain in.
Because India looks up to Emma a lot. So it was like, imagine the person you look up to.
Did you have all this information for today?
I remember we've spoken about it.
We talked about it like no, you don't.
The biggest thing I can say is that in trying to, this is really scary, especially when it comes to like parenting. That in trying to help. So you see, the funny thing here is that no matter their experience is real to them, no matter what my experience was. Do you understand? So no matter how many times I tell them, no, I was actually trying to fuck with you guys.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the reality of the experience. The only reason I was in that situation in the first place, because if I didn't want to fuck with them, they wouldn't have been in my studio in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, would have never had those conversations. You would have never recorded the song. There are people that I didn't want to fuck with back in those days. You understand? But in trying to help people, you're going to disappoint a lot of people. You understand? And so it's one of the like, I think God, nature does it to humble us, to say that at the end of the day, it's not down to your effort or your talent. You understand? Because a lot of people that I've tried to help, like when I give advice about, so you can imagine me having a younger brother that's in Lagos, and I honestly believe dancehall is not going to be successful. And the person says he wants to do dancehall, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get you to the money as soon as possible, right? And I tell this person my advice, and then like 2 years later, I discover I'm wrong, right? And dancehall starts becoming a vibe, right? Guess what? My intention was never wrong. Do you understand? But that it doesn't affect how the person will feel about it.
Exactly.
You understand?
Have you learned from that going forward?
I think the deepest lesson I've learned is actually it's made me very removed from working with people, because you can't change how somebody felt in a moment, no matter what you intended. You understand? So I'm proud of the fact that, like, I feel like I raised a crop of successful people that are artists, and people that are like staff and stuff. I'm proud of that. But in so doing, I also hurt people that are close to me. You understand? And I'm not talking about Young L and them. We're cool.
We're cool.
We're talking that, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about that, but you hurt a lot of people that are close to you. There's some of my friends that don't talk to me now. You understand? Because I'm tough. I kick people out of my house. I made people pay rent. I did a lot of
people pay rent.
Yeah,
Necessary, of course.
Like, so
necessary stuff though.
but
Necessary stuff.
understand the thinking, right?
Wow.
No, but understand my thinking. I have people staying in my house, and I go out and I'm hustling and I come back and they're just sitting there. Now, it's good for my ego. But if I love you like my brother, starting with my brother, Jesse, if I really love you and I want you to be Ice Prince today, I'm going to be like, so I had a conversation and I told him, I said, look, you're going to have to pay every month for the internet, for Jen, for all this stuff. And he asked me, he's the only person that asked me, he said, where do you expect me to get the money from? Then I said, how much do you think your value today? He said, well, for maybe a show, maybe 50,000 naira at the time. I said, somewhere in Lagos, somebody's earning that 50,000 naira. Go and find the money. Ice Prince left the house the next morning and got a gig that same day. He left the house, he went out searching for the money and came back. So even today with young artists, I'm way removed now. I don't give those lessons. And I think that the successes also come, the less passionate you are, the less like that turnover happens. But you want to tell your artists, like, look, at whatever level you are, you're valuable. As long as you can put your voice on the microphone, somebody's paying somebody, whether it's 20K or 15K. I've made money at all those levels. Let the person pay you as opposed to someone else. You understand? But, you win some, you lose some.
By the way, I saw your tweet at Osage this morning.
Yeah, petty heavy.
Very petty. So Osage goes, Loose Podcast is still number 1.
On iTunes.
On
Loose Talk.
iTunes. Loose Talk.
Loose
Oh,
Talk.
sorry. Loose Talk Podcast.
I was like, Loose has a podcast.
No, well, he
I do
posted
Scum
a
middle
picture.
ground.
Wow.
True.
He posted a picture and it was number 1 above Brilliant Idiots and all them. And then M goes, so iTunes numbers matter now. I'm like, oh, come on.
That wasn't petty. That was hella necessary.
No, it is
It
so
was
petty
petty.
though.
No, it wasn't.
Like
No.
petty
No, it is
guy.
petty.
No, listen, man. You always gotta remind niggas.
You have to.
You
Fam.
always have to remind niggas. Niggas catch amnesia real fucking quick. You always have to remind niggas.
My own is this. I wasn't slacking though. I wasn't all prepared.
Like, come on, man.
Of course, you saw that coming now. I can't even be
No,
posting that
because
thing and
you
not
posted-
knowing that.
You always have to remind niggas,
It's
man.
like you're driving and you ignore the blind side. You hear me? Like you've clearly done this to
So
someone.
somebody's going to tap your rear
And you're not
fender.
I know
Boom,
this guy
like,
is a very
bro.
petty guy. And you just
I
said,
don't- I don't think that was
but,
petty.
But let me tell you something. I'm not joking. With media. If you want to write about entertainment, I'm going to read all the articles and I'm going to comment and I'm going to come to your office. I'm going to shout at you if I feel you need to be shouted at. Like, this is not a joke. I sent a message to Osage and I said, everybody's rapping. Who is going to write the story about the fact that MI made everybody rap? Abi people are only going to write about review of the people that are going to. So, how does this person these people that want to be historians of our culture not capture the history because it makes them uncomfortable? And a lot of these guys, let me tell you something. What I'm finding out is that maybe there needs to be a turnover in media because a lot of people get bitter quickly, and you can tell who they like, and you can read as you read their writing over a period of time, you can tell they don't like this person. So if there's someone that has like an anti-D'banj narrative, if you read 100 articles, no matter what D'banj does, you know what I mean? Oh, he drops El Chapo. Oh, I hate the single. But if he does 3 million in a week, 3 million views, you know, say, yo, I don't like the song. The Gaga Shuffle, they publicly said on their podcast that the song is whack.
Bruv, I don't know how somebody can say
came
Gaga
back-
Shuffle is.
It's a vibe.
I came back to them, I sent them messages. They have not taken back the claim, right? Because they want, like now, I want to be right. It's important for me to be right. I mean, that's a dangerous thing for a reporter to want to be.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Isn't that a bad thing? Like you should you should be able to
You should not want
you
to
should
be
be
right.
objective. You should
Absolutely.
be able to recognize good music. You should be able to see things from a different person's perspective.
Yeah, but that's the
It's-
problem, though. That's the problem we're talking about right now. Is once you want to be right, you've blindsided the possibility
Yeah.
that. But what if this guy is correct and maybe there's some I'm not saying?
Yeah,
But that
exactly.
wants to be right is I'm going to bend this narrative, however the fuck I feel, as long as I come out being right. But
And
so I don't
also-
feel the tweet was petty at all. He, like I said,
It was better.
no, it wasn't.
Petty
But it
gang.
was right.
Also, this is just by the way. Did you guys notice a ton of fake news pop out during the time when Donald Trump comes out and said, "Oh, everyone is preaching fake news," and there's like tons of fake news coming out. Did you guys notice that?
Huh? What are you talking about?
So basically, Donald Trump comes out and says, "Oh, the media is pushing fake news,"
You've been saying that for a minute.
and then
So
like
you're saying they
around the
went on to
time.
actually push out fake news?
No, I've just been seeing an increase
No,
in
fake
fake
news.
news.
Yeah, I think it's always been there. It's just that now we know what to call it. Donald Trump is the number one peddler of fake news.
Fake news.
He did there's the Bertha conspiracy about Obama,
Obama.
where he personally said he's gotten information from people that really know things. You know how he talks now. Some people that are really, really smart. They really, really know a lot of things. And Obama is not born in America.
I feel like he's there's something coming for him, and he sees that, and so when that happens, he just wants to be able to say, "Oh."
Yeah, I told
was
you it
fake
was
news.
fake
So
news.
that's why he's.
You think he's
doing
planning
this.
that far ahead?
I think he is.
Donald Trump.
But anyways, let's talk about rap for a bit. So Fowles dropped his album 27.
Sick.
On his 27th birthday, I think.
Yes.
Surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So 27th, which I think was the 27th. Also.
Yeah, he pulled a Beyonce.
That's dope.
Is it 27?
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, he's
I
27
Yeah,
years old.
yeah.
He's 27 years old. He was 27.
He pulled a
dope.
And it's his
Beyonce.
27th album.
And what-
Relax.
But he has 27 songs, Abi.
Relax,
I
fam.
don't-
I think so. He has a lot of songs.
Is it Chris
27
Brown?
songs.
No, it's not. It's
Not
not.
the album though.
No one album can take 27 songs.
What are you
Chris Brown just
saying?
put
Ralph?
Chris Brown put out
It's a
40.
double album.
Oh,
Nah, Chris
No, but it's
did
one
drop
album.
one.
No, Chris Brown is a double album.
The Gift and the Curse was one album.
Yo, there's so
Just
many
double
good
disc.
albums.
Yeah,
coming
double
out.
discs,
Niniola
yeah.
just came
But
out.
people don't
Sick.
do double
Fowles
discs
came
anymore.
out.
Niniola's
Sick.
album is out.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I need
yeah.
to get that now.
Sick,
Now.
you should, man.
What do you think about Niniola's album cover?
I love it.
I don't like it.
I don't like
I
it.
love it.
That's
I don't
why
like
I
it.
asked about.
I don't like it at all.
Nini by.
I feel like it looks too stiff. Like
for
What do you mean?
her as an artist, like
I want more
it
explanation on that
just
too.
I don't like it.
okay.
You say it looks stiff.
What do you
because
mean?
Have you seen it?
Okay, by
Have you seen the album
stiff, I
cover,
mean
Jude?
I
like
haven't.
it just doesn't look like her.
It's not the album cover for Niniola.
Do you understand? It just
For
doesn't.
me, I
look,
feel
it
like the
doesn't
album
fit her
covers,
personality.
the song covers, everything gets better. And this is the best one so far.
Yeah, so it
It's
has gotten
artistic.
better. Like,
I love
But
it.
I don't think
No,
it
I
fits
don't
her
like it at all.
personality. I don't.
It's not even a
like-
personality thing. It's just I'm not going to buy that album if I don't know the artist. I just look at the album cover. It's next.
so I
I'm
wish.
not getting it.
One thing I've noticed is that like the way I feel about Simi in terms of her like branding and like aesthetics and like the way she looks and dresses, I also feel the same about Niniola. But with Niniola, I've seen like a gradual improvement in the way she dresses and stuff like that. But that album cover, it just seems. I understand the idea behind it. I just think it's a bit. Okay.
It's just odd.
Yeah,
I
it's just
feel-
for me. It's just like
I don't know.
It's
Listen,
okay,
I love
yeah.
Niniola.
Okay, guys, explain.
I love Niniola. I listen to her music all the time.
Yeah.
The album
It
cover
doesn't-
left a lot to be desired.
How you mean?
It's just a matter of
It's-
opinion. It's not. I don't think it's.
I mean, you
it's
might
not-
I feel
like
like-
it. I don't know.
If you
What,
say
what do you think they were going for with the album cover?
queenship, royalty, gold, with the way she was looking up, like something really royal, like, and the name of the album, This Is Me.
I think that's what they were going for, and I think they fell short.
Aspirational at
terribly.
the same time.
Yeah.
It worked.
They fell short of that goal that they were aiming for. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. And I know the album's gonna be dope because
It is.
she's
Yeah.
She's amazing.
she's on
definitely
a she's on
amazing.
a can't miss streak right now. So
I don't know. I just feel like I've consistently had this issue with her visuals.
Same.
But has she grown?
She
She
has
has.
grown, but I still currently have issues with her visuals.
I guess I see where
Yeah,
TMXO is
I
coming
understand
from.
where
Where
you're
it's
coming
like, I
from.
mean, baby steps. She's going
Yeah,
to get there
yo,
at some
She'll
point,
get there, yeah.
and that's all.
This year, maybe 2, 3, 4 hits.
Yeah, no, it's not even about the hits. The music
No,
is
I'm-
Yeah,
all
the
the
music
way
is,
all I'm
up.
the
saying is
music
the
is
growth.
mad. Yeah, the
Music
music is
is
mad.
the
I'm
growth.
more
Come out
interested
this
in
year.
the visuals.
Yes,
Yes.
it
Yeah,
did.
it did.
Sika came out.
So I prefer the Sika videos to like just about every other video
Yes.
that she's done.
You see-
I like it. I like the styling. I like everything about
That makes his
it.
point then.
There,
Not
no,
just
there,
she's
are, no,
getting
there, are a
better. Then-
couple, there are a couple of scenes I still have an issue
Yeah, there was one
with.
year. Is it a yellow
There
hoodie
was-
that she was
I
wearing?
can't
That
remember.
just
There
a
was
bit
one
like-
thing,
good.
one scene that I didn't think it was necessary.
Just relax.
So I just didn't think it was necessary, but obviously, yeah, she has grown. I feel like she's going to get way better, and she's getting more in touch with the sort of stuff she's comfortable with and sort of stuff she likes. But she will get there eventually.
I feel like whoever is her stylist, she needs to keep that person. Person's doing a great job, and I know that. I think Anita Browns does her makeup now, and like that has really improved as well. So she's definitely on the path to like. We'll see Niniola start becoming like a fashion, like you know
Yeah.
how Cardi B blossomed into a butterfly. We're going to see her definitely. Wish Simi could jump on the. Bad
Wow.
wagon. I don't know.
He's out here throwing canopies and shit.
You
Next.
know, okay, next. All right, so I want to ask you guys a couple of questions, scenario questions. So, like, tell me your opinions and blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you could learn only one magic spell, but it could only do something boring, what would the spell do?
Like, am I shut the fuck up?
I know what you say next.
Young girl, what's your own?
I have no idea, man. I swear.
Wait,
You can only do something boring. You have
spell-
one spell. Yeah.
to do something boring. Well, boring is relative.
Telling Emma to shut
It's
up, is that boring?
Yeah, because just be quiet.
I
I will
see
just be
mine.
quiet in the room.
Yes, please,
Serious.
Getting my friend loose cannon to arrive as quickly
As
for
she should be.
events as he does in the bedroom.
How you know how I arrive in the bedroom?
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
brace, big fella.
So
There's questions. How do you know how I arrive in the
I think
bedroom?
we've gotten the answer. This question was for two of them. I
Yeah.
think we can move on now.
Let's leave it at
Relax.
Let's-
I
I think we
know.
can move on.
No,
Oh, I don't
My
know.
own
How do you know?
you know how I know.
I don't know how you know. Please help us.
what's
Entertain
going
us.
on here?
I have no idea. It's
What is
what
your
is
own,
always
Miss
going.
Wendy?
Mine is to make everybody like spontaneously rest. Just spontaneous resting. Just take a
What?
nap, bro. I don't know, but like
Oh.
I hate the fact that
That's not boring now.
when I'm resting, sometimes I feel like everyone is like achieving things and doing things.
Oh.
I don't wanna-
Wow. So you want to give yourself
I just want
an upper
everyone
hand.
to just calm down. Just wait. Give yourself like
What's
3
yours?
hours. Don't do anything.
Don't say some gay shit like that.
Nah.
I didn't say anything gay.
I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. But anything else, it won't be boring. But it has to be boring.
Okay, so just say anything then.
Maybe you make people rest, but when they're annoying me, like, you did vex me, rest. You did vex me, rest.
I didn't say anything gay. Did I say something gay?
I don't know. You tell me.
What did I
Okay,
say? I
Wendy,
said,
you
I
wanted
would
to
like
bring
you
something up.
Yeah, I wanted to
come
bring up
quicker
something
in
really
real
serious
life.
actually.
Oh, John, you still want to do that?
Like you're
Answer the
overcompensating.
question.
You
Okay.
understand?
Okay, you guys, next one.
Bars.
Next one. You wake up suddenly in the middle of the night. What would be the scariest sound to hear after waking up?
These questions are weird.
I always used to. I don't know. I think I still have this fear of waking up in a room with a lion.
What?
I always-
How would that happen?
I don't know. It's an, you know, I always have that. Like sometimes I wake up in a cold sweat because I think
There's a lion just
I
chilling.
swear now.
And lion is just like, what up,
Just
Lucy?
chilling, just stroking your
Listen,
belly.
you don't. It's when you wake up then you realize that I'm on my bullshit again. But it's
You know,
it's real.
you know there was a lion that went missing in Ajah or something.
Oh my
Relax.
God.
Apparently,
Aja. Oh,
that
Aja.
nigga escaped, bruh. They said there was a lion on the loose that they saw it in the estate.
Lion on the Bye.
Wait, lion was just trolling in
He was
Lagos.
strolling in Ajah.
Wait, lion on the loose.
It was on loose.
Man, so many ways
Yo,
that
yo,
could go wrong.
what do you think? What would be the scariest sounds to wake up to?
Scariest sound
Sound.
will be
Jeez.
This one is deep.
I don't even know. Like
Your
this your
girlfriend
question.
asking you, who is this?
No, but that one has happened to me before, man. That
Wow.
one's happened to me
Who
before.
is in Kechi's
That's
small
what
chops?
happened to everybody.
Yeah, like I was just sleeping and I just opened my eye
They just
and I
ask
just
you.
saw her in front of me. I just knew like,
Ah,
man,
fuck.
Bruh.
why didn't you just delete your chat? Like, why didn't
Bruh,
you
it's happened to
just
you?
Of course.
Happened to
Who is
everybody.
in Kechi's small chops?
It was just like I
Please, some
thought
men are
I
loyal.
thought you
Don't
said
bring
you
that
went
over
to
here.
so. How come this message is on your phone?
You know, it's just funny how.
I'm like,
Did you get found out?
I'm
from
just
the
like,
message?
what's happening? Can we talk about this in the morning? I'm like, no.
In the morning, what happened to right now?
What is I think that's the worst, man. It was real life, but fam, I don't want that to happen to me again, man.
The scariest sound. Scary sound. Man, I don't know. There's so many things that are scary. I don't know what would be scarier. I don't want to say something funny. What I'm going to say is going to be dark.
Okay.
This is sound of the call that happened in the north when there was a crisis early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be scary. Waking up to hear people say,
Okay.
you know what I mean, or hear arm robbers or something else. That really freaks me out.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like
Like
that.
gunshots, shit.
Yeah. Stuff like
That,
that.
that's call in the morning up now. That was
That's scary.
you just wake up like, oh man, we're still in this bitch.
Okay. So, one more question before we move on. What
You
high
didn't ask
level?
TMXO and Wendy.
Oh, Wendy, yeah, sorry. What sound?
You didn't ask TMXO
I
and
asked TMXO
Wendy.
now.
Scariest sound,
TMXO and
TMXO.
Wendy a package deal.
Oh my god.
What's good?
Relax.
What's good? I mean, these are questions.
Wow.
Okay, you.
I want to
answer
scary
first.
sound waking up to one corner.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
That's scary, though. That's fucking so scary, bro.
My own is scariest sound would be an explosion just from nowhere. Like that Ikeja cantonment
fuck.
time. I think it was at night. And like I used to live in Okota and like Ikeja it's not like close and we could hear it. That night was very, very tough. Yeah, so like explosions, gunshots, things of that nature because you have to get your bearing. You have to understand where it's coming from. Then you have to
Yeah, I remember like the bomb blast that happened. Like that was proper scary. I can't imagine waking up to that. Just have one sound after
Let me
the other.
ask. Do you think there's like a conspiracy theory behind that whole thing? Or you think it just went off?
Which one?
The
The
bomb.
cantonment bomb.
Bombs just they were there for a minute and it just went off.
I have a deeper question.
Well.
Do you think somebody has ever struggled to get their bearing while trying to bring their bear in because it was bearing a bear ring?
What's your next question?
What high level job do you think you could lie your way into with no experience and no one would notice?
Oh.
High level job.
Can I start?
Yes.
Law.
Really.
Bruv.
And no one would notice.
I'm on that micro shit. Bruv. I'm on that micro shit.
So how would you make sure no one finds out?
What did micros do?
Who is my cross?
They have a whole series dedicated to
They
that.
have a whole series that you have to that. Just put me there. For me.
Okay.
You?
What about you, Young?
What job?
High level job.
High level
You can lie
job.
your way into.
And no one would notice.
Some kind of politician.
Yeah, niggas do that shit every day in Nigeria.
Yeah.
No man,
Yeah.
All I just is get like some kaftan, take my dread off, put like Hausa hat.
Yeah, and talk like you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, just be my phone and just
Sometimes
be
you
like,
even need to attempt to talk like you know
Man,
what
one
you're
them.
talking about.
Kaji, you just see like the whole thing switch up from.
Wendy.
Oops, sorry.
Chop it down,
Really?
please. Please.
Mine would be presidency.
Nah,
Wow.
Yeah.
nah.
Nigerian presidency.
That's not
especially.
possible, Joe.
Wow. And
Watch
no one will
me, nigga.
notice.
Well,
How would you make sure no one notices?
I'm very intelligent.
And we were
Don't play
stupid.
yourself.
As in, everybody
You
else.
are mumu now. You know what I'm saying?
No, no,
all
no.
the people that you people have, all the people that you people elected before.
Well, we saw them doing
I saw-
elections.
Excuse me.
I saw what she's. I saw this coming a mile away. We have no argument to that.
You can't-
We've elected some.
Don't
Some
say it.
questions.
I don't
Don't
wanna-
say it.
I don't want to name names, but you know,
You people, I don't want to enter trouble.
We have
Like,
some
I love
leaders
my
of
life.
questionable intelligence.
Like who?
Hey.
Are you guys
listen.
scared to talk about
Listen.
leaders you
Listen.
elected? Come on, I'm disappointed.
People, calm down, everybody.
Is this in the middle ground? I'm
Oh,
disappointed.
they're choosing sides.
Your goal.
What was the question?
wow, you're not
What
paying attention.
high level job could you lie your way into and no one would notice?
CEO.
CEO of a record label. Ongoing.
In view.
In view.
Luce,
Huh?
what high level job could you lie your way into?
Like a basketballer. What's that guy that has beards?
James Harden.
I tell you, they'll be like, the is coming to Nigeria for like 3 days stuff. Package
Yeah,
these people,
no,
collect
I'm
this
not tall
money.
enough, but I could talk the talk. I could act like
Oh
I
my
know what the
god,
fuck I'm talking about.
alright.
April, how about you?
Yeah, I don't know, like probably a Ethiopian or shit, I don't know.
Italy.
Wait.
Come on.
Oh my
We have
god.
done questions. Like, we really don't have topics. I think your topic game is low today. So what I'm
Okay.
going to do is I'm going to bring up a topic.
Wendy was going to bring up a topic.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's a serious topic, so I don't. If your topic is light, maybe you
No,
should talk.
my topic is serious too.
Oh, okay.
sure.
So I wanted us when you mentioned that how like your perception of something may not necessarily be like if something happens, what you think you did may not necessarily match up to the reality of the person who you
Yeah.
did it to.
Yeah.
So this week, was it this week? Anthony Rapp did like an article on BuzzFeed where he said that when he was 14 years old, he was at a party at Kevin Spacey's house. Kevin Spacey is an actor.
We know who Kevin Spacey is.
Yeah, I just
Kevin.
want everyone to. He's an actor. He's on House of Cards. He's been in so many movies. Everything. Yeah. And he was like Kevin Spacey like attempted to sexually assault. He like climbed on top of him and stuff. And he was 14. And I think this was like 30 years ago. So like I think Kevin Spacey was like 20 something years old or so. And like he was a 14-year-old and he was at this party and basically that happened. And then Kevin Spacey now released a Twitter statement saying that, he doesn't remember that it happened, but that if it happened, he owes him an apology. However, he's very sure that he was drunk on that night, so it must have happened as a result of him being drunk. He was not like, and I've been with men and I've been with women. I'm paraphrasing. But
I'm
guess
not
what,
straight,
guys?
man. I'm not gay.
I'm now gay. Like, I'm gay. I'm choosing to live my life as a gay man. I don't want to, in fact, I feel like we should talk about, what are your feelings about this, guys? No feelings.
First of all, fuck Kevin Spacey for that. Like how the fuck is he talking about? I don't know what happened, but I was drunk. First of all, the boy is 14.
Yeah.
That's a kid.
A child.
So then he just trivialized so many things with that statement.
know-
It would have been better off if he just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but am I gonna play devil's advocate here?
Okay.
Wait,
I'm of the bot too.
can I
Let me
say
hear
my-
that. No.
Can I say before him starts?
Okay. If
Mine
Kevin
is that-
Spacey was in his 20s. Okay, go ahead.
Kevin Spacey, yeah. You see Frank Underwood and Kevin Spacey, they're the same
Yeah, of course.
exact person. That's what I feel. And you can't just, somebody said, yo, you did this to me several years ago. And you can't come and say, wait till I do you. I don't even remember. Of which, me, I like boys, though. Say, like
All he's trying to say is that it's possible it would have
is
happened.
that,
And I'm sorry,
And I'm sorry.
but however,
I'm gay.
That's why it's possible that it happened.
because I
Perfect
think,
timing, don't you think?
No, let me explain to you.
It's not
why I
him that
think.
said it now, it's the boy that brought it up.
The
now.
guy bringing it up asks a lot of questions. Before you start asking many questions, people, ladies and gentlemen, what was I doing with the boy? Let me tell you, people, I'm gay.
So it's
End
yes.
of press conference.
Bam.
Understand? So before you start asking those other questions, because which brings me to the whole conversation. Like what's happening in America now is a little bit dangerous, and the reason why it's dangerous is because of real victims. So the Nelly story about this girl that said she was sexually assaulted by Nelly, and it seems from all indications that Nelly actually didn't assault her. And you have a lot of guys that are saying here and there. You have the guy that did Nate Parker. I think that's his name.
Who's that? That's the guy that did what's that movie?
Yeah, Nat Turner, the Nat Turner movie.
Yeah. Birth of a Nation.
You have that guy. You have
But the girl killed herself.
yes,
Yeah.
but there's nuance to the story. He's having sex with a girl. His friend in college. His friend comes to the room. They discuss with the girl, whatever. They knock.
Turns into a train.
I don't know the exact nomenclature, but thank you, Sensei.
Train.
nomenclature.
So, and
But they had this conversation with the girl.
yes, that's what he says. And the girl comes out later to say that
It was rape.
it was rape. They go to court. He's acquitted of any charges because him and the girl had been having something over the weekend. It wasn't the first time they slept together. So, but there's this trend now where it's like, you know, in America, whenever something becomes an opportunity, people go the extra mile with it, right? So inside here, maybe the conspiracy theorist in me hears some sort of blackmail against Kevin Spacey. And I think that Kevin Spacey
Can you pull
just
up
came
that Kevin Spacey statement?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey just came out.
Well,
Just
pretty
said,
much everything he said though.
he just said, yo, by the way, I'm gay. Before people ask any other question, I'm gay. My friend, if anything like this happened, it was I must have been drunk, and I'm sorry for it happening.
I don't
Kim
see anything. I see
Wrong in
what
what he
he
said.
did was wrong, but how he handled it, I don't think it's wrong anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like you scarred someone.
I'm going to explain.
I must have been drunk, sorry. I was
But
wrong.
what do you want me to
It's
say?
not-
First of all, I'm not sure it
feel-
happened. You're the one saying it happened. Yes, now, I'm
I
not
get
sure it
that.
happened now.
I get that.
It's my word against your
I
own.
get that.
Exactly.
But
so,
we have to think about the fact that it may have happened.
Okay, think
And
about
if
what he's
thinking
doing to Kevin Spacey
and
too.
if he's thinking
We've
about
cancelled the show because of what one person said.
One second. And if he's
True,
thinking
sure.
about
Come
the
on.
fact, wait, chill. If he's thinking about the fact that it may have happened, he didn't say it didn't happen.
He said he may
said,
have.
I may have done it. Do you understand?
And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. But if he's saying that, I might have done this thing, then I feel like
He should do what?
I'm sorry.
What
I
else?
lost my
Yeah,
job
something that
because of
happened
that.
30
What can
years
you do?
ago.
What can you do?
What can you
That
do?
doesn't matter.
So what would you have wanted him to
It's
do?
Let me ask you a
somebody.
question.
What do you
It's
have
not a
wanted him to do?
Guys,
14-year-old
wait, hold
boy.
on.
Can I-
We're just arguing.
Can I-
now,
Yeah.
And we need to, yeah.
Can I
Go
chime
ahead.
in? Oh, you want me to read this, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, so Kevin Spacey says, I have a lot of respect and admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor. I'm beyond horrified to hear his story. I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago. But if I did behave then, as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior. And I am sorry for the feelings he described having carried with him all these years. This story has encouraged me to address other things about my life. I know that there are stories out there about me and that some have been fueled by the fact that I have been so protective of my privacy. As those closest to me know, in my life, I have had relationships with both men and women. I have loved and had romantic encounters with men throughout my life, and I choose now to live as a gay man. I want to deal with this honestly and openly, and that starts with examining my own behavior. Kevin Spacey.
What?
You don't think
that
it's good
works.
enough?
No,
I
that
wanna.
works.
I think
I
you're right,
wanna.
That works.
I'm
Wait.
beyond horrified.
1 second.
Like, it's terrible. I'm really sorry. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
That
You-
works.
Yeah.
So what were you
I
attacking
thought-
him
Let me
for?
tell you-
No,
let me
I was
tell you why it
attacking
doesn't
him
work for
because what was said was, don't stop me with your phone.
This is fake news.
Fake news.
Let me
Exactly.
tell you why it
Fake
doesn't.
behavior.
Let me tell you why it
No,
doesn't work for me.
This is the first time I'm hearing this, by the way. what I heard was, oh, it may have happened, it may not have happened. Oh, if it did, sorry.
No, I mean, I read this
I'm
statement,
gay.
so I knew that
Yeah,
what he
let
did
me
was
tell you-
alright.
Let me tell you why it doesn't work.
Why?
You want to apologize for doing something that you don't remember.
You don't agree
First of all,
again.
the only person that has the luxury of not remembering abuse is the person that committed the crime.
Yeah.
Yes.
The victim never forgets. Never forgets. That's
Fair
number
enough.
one. Number two, you somehow took this around and made it about you. I can assure you that people would have, if he had just said he's sorry and left it at that, that would have worked perfectly. It would have worked fine, because honestly, nobody gives a shit if you're gay or not. And it also doesn't help with the whole narrative of gay people are pedophiles, gay people are this, gay people are that. It does not help. It doesn't help that narrative. You could have left it as, I'm sorry. I even think that maybe he shouldn't have even mentioned. I mean, maybe, okay, whatever.
Mention it later. You don't
This
have
statement to
mention
me,
it
the
then.
reason why I say fuck that nigga, it reads as an excuse.
It's just,
Yeah.
it just
It's
sounds
so
like,
diversionary. It's like, okay, this guy may or may not have molested this kid several years ago. I don't remember it. If I remember, I'm sorry.
He said he molested him. He said he tried to molest him.
he tried. He got on top of him when he was at a party and whatever, and tried, and then he got away,
Which
basically.
even brings me to the first question: what is a 14-year-old boy doing at a party where they
Which
It's
was
a
going
Hollywood.
on.
It's a
But
Hollywood.
it's Hollywood.
party.
No,
It's
these
normal
dumb things
stuff.
happen.
It's normal stuff.
but-
No, it's not normal.
get-
It's
very
just
important.
Hollywood.
Let me explain
they
to you why.
always get in there.
No, let me explain to you why it's very important.
Yeah.
Because if Kevin Spacey doesn't know that he's 14 years old, because 14-year-olds are not supposed to be at that party, it changes completely
Yeah.
the scope of the
So
event.
that means the
It's a
only
different thing if he's mentoring, he's a teacher in a school, or there's a context
At the
within which he knows
party
that
where
this
there's
is a young
alcohol,
kid.
fam.
But if
And
I'm at
drugs,
a
you know.
party
And they're
I'm
drugs.
drunk and there
What's that boy
boys
doing
are-
there?
and there are other young guys around there.
What if that's what the
my
party is
assumption
about,
is that
Seth?
everybody's an adult there.
Yeah.
Right. It's still the abuse. It doesn't change the abuse, but it
doesn't.
changes the context of the accusation that the boys bring.
Because that
Personally,
party might be a party of,
Yeah.
if you see me,
Do you
catch me.
agree?
You never know. You never know.
I agree to a certain extent, but I also think that you shouldn't be climbing on anybody that did not invite you to climb on them. Do you understand? Like,
Maybe it's a climbing party now.
Which
You never
which
know.
he apologized for.
Yeah.
yeah,
What's
but
going
I-
on?
It's a climbing
Let's
party,
not leave.
man.
Can be a
Yeah,
climbing
no,
party
no,
okay,
with
okay.
alcohol,
No,
drugs.
no, no.
But let me address what I think Wendy was speaking to. So, America starts from the benefit of the doubt to the accused, right? So let me imagine that Kevin Spacey is everything he says. He wakes up this morning, he hears a story about a guy that he cannot remember. And this guy says, the media has been clamoring to hear stories about you and your sexuality, which he addresses there. Everyone wants to know. And this opens Pandora's box, right? You have certain choices. The Hollywood line is to say nothing. I see a tremendous amount of courage in Kevin Spacey's actions to say...
The Hollywood line is to say nothing.
Yes, your lawyers will not allow you say a word about it.
There will be, you say something. You might not, you have to address it.
Bro.
Once they say you are a rapist, you have to
What
either
does
come and say.
What does Harvey Weinstein said about these accusations?
He only responded
He
to
didn't
he
need to say
responded
anything.
only to Lupita.
Peter.
Yeah, he didn't respond. His representation
Yeah,
responded.
but a statement has to come. That's what you have to
No,
respond to the
so
accusation.
hear what I'm saying. You can respond in the court of law, but you are absolutely owed nothing. The girl that accused Usher hasn't still made a statement about it, right? I have
You
no
don't need
obligation.
to. Yeah.
And the Hollywood line, like the legal line, if I'm a celebrity, is don't respond. It takes a tremendous amount of courage. If Bill Cosby, if Harvey Weinstein, if all these guys had put out an apology the way
You
Kevin
make it
Spacey
bigger.
did, it makes it a different conversation. These guys aren't saying anything. They're not responding. Bill Cosby, all these guys, they're not talking. They're just being quiet about it. Kevin Spacey says, I respect this guy. This is horrible. If I ever behave like this, I'm sorry. I was at a party. I was drunk. It's insane behavior. I apologize deeply for whatever feelings this guy has carried because of my actions, if it did indeed happen. Imagine I'm Kevin Spacey. I get this accusation, and the accusation pries into my personal life that the media wants to know about my sexual identity, etc. I apologize. I admit that the action would have been terrible. I also say I don't know about it. Puts himself in legal, like in a situation where legally he's more vulnerable now,
Yeah.
right? I think that took a lot of courage. And I think that in this present day of like social media, we're so quick to make judgments about things and people. But when I read it, my thinking is that Kevin Spacey is trying to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to say, guys, I'm sorry for this. I want to take responsibility for what happened to this guy. Also, for this conversation to continue to happen, I also want to let you guys know that I'm proud to be gay. This is not some sleazy, I'm hiding behind my back.
Yeah, but why was that necessary? Why was that part necessary?
Because the story invades into his privacy already.
You might as well.
That story has already started.
But here's my
Do you
issue,
understand?
right? Here's my issue, sorry. If I'm going to apologize, I will apologize first. Send that out. Apologize
Leave
first.
the apology as an
But
apology.
Then
then
if,
again,
if you now want to come
he
out and say
muddied the
again,
apology with coming out of the
exactly.
closet.
Exactly.
I agree. Do you know why I think that's brilliant? Because him just talking about the apology alone gives it too much power for the guy. Because this guy is just one guy that accused him of something, which nobody is sure that it happened.
Now you are making my point. The moment you start talking like this, you are making my point.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. That's what I'm saying. I get where you're coming from. But also, I think it's good that he came out because he also gives the guy his apology he wants, and he also gets what he wants from the
killing
side.
two
I just
birds.
Yeah,
feel-
killing
I
two
feel-
birds with
I
one
feel
stone.
Let me give you an
like
example.
First of all, I don't think the guy
Let me
wanted
give you an
an
example.
apology.
Let me give you an
What did the guy
An
want?
apology doesn't change the
That-
fact that he,
Let me- what did the guy
he
want?
dealt with that.
What do you think he wanted?
Right? He, for whatever reason, he put out that information because he dealt with it. It happened to him.
Yeah.
We don't know what his intentions were.
We don't know if
Let
it
me give you an
happened.
example.
Though.
Let's say
We
my
don't know
contract
yet,
with
though.
Chocolate City ends, right? I'm no longer working at Chocolate City. I haven't said anything about it. And then I do a song and someone says, oh, you're talking about Chocolate City on this song. Then I say, I am not talking about this person, about Chocolate City on this song. Also, I would like to thank Chocolate City for the years of my being
Yeah,
there.
I've left.
And I want to say to everybody that I have left. People have been asking. I decided to keep my privacy, but now that this conversation is out there, it's a good time for me to say this also.
I feel like that's
That
different.
analogy
I believe
doesn't
it's
follow.
different. It's
That's
That analogy
completely
doesn't
different.
follow at
It's a
all.
different scenario.
How is it different?